Hello, my hooking homies. I hope you can hear me. I have to be kind of quiet because I have people sleeping in the other room next door. But I wanted to attempt to do a tutorial for these miniature window, whatever you want to call them, window decorations. I'm actually going to hang one of these on the rear view of my car. And this is what they look like. And I've got various crystals and beads. One thing I will say about adding the beads is to make sure not to use too many or anything that's too heavy, or to pull them a bit too hard out of spiral, so take that into consideration. And here's one that I didn't hang up, so you can see what it's about, the size of a 50-cent piece, something like that. And if you're in Canada, I actually don't know what to compare it to because I'm not sure what the currency is called. So they were definitely inspired by Ophelia Talk's wind spinners. Although these may spin in the wind, that's not exactly what they're designed for. They're just for decoration, ornament, and a little something to enjoy looking at. So, if all goes well, we will start the tutorial. Okay, so that is a rarely seen shot of some of my yarn. Well, the majority of it. Which has nothing to do with the tutorial. But there it is. Okay, so my handy dandy Dollar Tree project bag that I added my miniature skein to. And if you're interested in knowing how to make those, the tutorial is also on my channel in the tutorial playlist. And if you want to see better pictures of these miniature little window hangers, is what I'm calling them, I'm not sure, window charms, you can find better pictures on my Facebook page and also on my Instagram. So the yarn that I used was Etamin yarn by ICE. These little skeins, they are 100% acrylic and they're a #1 weight. I don't know if it's picking that up, but that's what it is. Oh goodness, I don't even know how many yards came in these little things, but I have several colors of it. Like I said, it's a #1, so I'm using my C 2.75mm hook, which it does not want to focus on. It's clover hook. And you can use anywhere from 1 color up to 4 colors. So, to make mine, I'll start with a chain of 40. And, you know, of course you can chain more or less. It does not matter at all. So, let me get my yarn ready and we will begin. So, when you go to begin, leave plenty of tail because this is going to be the top of your spinner, decoration, window ornament, whatever we're calling it. I do not know. If you guys would like to, give me some clues as what maybe I should call it, let me know. So, just like always, you got to start with a slip knot. And this makes me so drunk trying to look and watch myself do a tutorial through the camera. Alright, so like I said, on the ones that I showed in the beginning, I chained 40. For the purposes of the tutorial, I'm going to do probably, I don't know, we'll see. So you just do a chain however long you want it to be. And my table is rocking. Oh, that's not going to work. Wow, this makes me dizzy. I'm going to stop there. Well, actually, do the chain as many as you want, and then when you get done, do a slip stitch. And where did I put my scissors? And also, when you're cutting it, leave a tail. That's where your beads and charms or whatnot are going to hang from. So be a little generous with that. Go ahead and pull that. Then you're going to come back to the start. And to help remember that this is the start, just like Ophelia does with her wind spinners, I like to tie a knot. That way if you get confused, you can kind of feel, hey, that's where the knot is, so this is where it begins. And for the purposes of this tutorial, I'm going to come in again with the same color. You can change it at this point if you want to. Not a problem at all. And if you're pulling up your new color, that's where we begin. Only I'm going to do the same color. And so the first thing we want to do is just a row of single crochet all the way down this row. If my tails would get out of the way, it would help a whole lot. And if my chain would turn back around. My setup for this is very clumsy, so we'll see. Hopefully this ends up working, but hopefully you guys know what a single crochet is as well. I'm trying to do this while looking through the camera with bifocals on nonetheless. So I'm going to stop it here and finish doing this row of single crochet, because I don't think you need to watch me fiddle my whole way down this row. And I'll be right back. Okay, so if you have went all down the row putting one single crochet in each chain, again when you get to the end you want to finish off with a slip stitch and cut that tail, pull that through. Okay, just like I told you before, now that you've cut that end, we're going to come back to our starting side, the side that we put the knot in, if you happen to do that along with me, and take your next color. If you're changing colors, go ahead and get that started. Chain up 3. This is my biggest complaint, is the tail always wants to stick with me. So just chain up 3, and in that same stitch you want to do 3 more double crochets. And I see that it's losing focus off and on. I do apologize about that. Like I said, I'm having to do this in a very, very amateur way. So now you go on to your next stitch, and you're going to put 4 double crochets. Am I under both loops? Yes, I am. Put 4 double crochets in each stitch all the way down. Okay, and I'll meet you when I get back to the bottom. One thing I want to mention is that as you're doing these 4 double crochets in each stitch, your work will start to do the spiral. And the good thing to know is there's no more increases after this row. This is the only increase row. So keep that in mind. Okay, I'm breaking in for 2 reasons. 1, because my camera will only be on pause for so long before it completely shuts off. And 2, to show you how it's starting to curl. And I'm just about done with it. I should have probably did this part in advance, but we learn as we go, right? I'll be right back. I've got just a few more stitches. Okay, so I'm at the end of the row, and there again you want to do 1 final slip stitch and cut that color. And I would like to say But even if you're going to do your next row in the same color, you still have to cut it down here. Always cut it down here at the end, because if you just turn and go back thinking, well, it's going to be the same color, so it don't matter. Well, it does matter, because it won't spin right and it won't hang right if you do that. So just a little side note. All right, I'm going to grab my next color and we'll begin. I guess, let's see, we've got our chain row, our single crochet row, our double crochet row. The next one is a slip stitch row, number 3, and then we have our edging, so 4 rows altogether, and we will be done. Okay, so now we are ready for our next color. If you're changing color, which I highly recommend, otherwise this row would be kind of pointless. And actually, this is a slip stitch row. You could technically skip it if you wanted to, because if you're going to do it in the same color, or even if you're not actually. But I like to do it just to add a little, I think it just makes it look a little bit funner. So you go under each of your V stitches and just do a slip stitch like that, and go into the next one and slip stitch if your hook will cooperate and if your hands will cooperate. I'm trying to look through the camera. That's what I'm doing. Just doing a slip stitch. And you continue down the whole thing. Oop, I dropped my thread. Let me see if I can catch it. But I'm just going under each one of the little V stitches from before and slip stitching. And I'll do that all the way down. And what that's going to do is create an inside edging. And I'll do a few more and I'll come back and show you what I'm talking about. Alright, so we are at the end of this row as well. And just like always, one final slip stitch. And cut your tail. And pull that through. Now, would like to say, once again, if I didn't already, these were inspired by Ophelia Talk's wind spinners, her big ones. This is not an original invention of mine. I take no credit for that. There are other, spinners on YouTube. And by spinners, I mean spinner tutorials. But I didn't see any miniatures, so hopefully I'm not stepping on any toes. I did have one person, and because of the language she used in my comments, I will not call her a lady, but she had left me a rather nasty comment that I was basically riding on the coattails of Ophelia Talks. Now, I disagree with that, because the title of the video clearly stated that it was the tutorial for Ophelia's original tutorial was linked in the description. I was by no means trying to take credit for that. And even Ophelia herself left me a very sweet comment on that same video, and she said that mine turned out beautifully. So I don't even think that she had any trouble or any problem with me listing that video the way that I did. And long story short, I don't mind anybody having a difference of opinion, but if you're going to be negative, I will delete it. And this lady, she wanted to come back, and I ended up having to block her. So, just wanted to clear the air on that. This is not my original idea. It was just inspired by. Now, enough of the hoo-ha. Let's see. If you're glad to have this tutorial, I do wish you would give me a thumbs up. I hate to have to even say that, but lately the thumbs have been kind of meager. So that always helps me to make my channel better for your sake when you guys help me with the algorithms by giving me a thumbs up. Okay, now if you want to change color, which there again, I highly recommend because you're not going to get the change in the detail if you don't, but it's totally up to you. So here's what we did so far, and I hope this is showing up clear. It just puts a little bit of an edging right there. We're going to come back and work in these same V's, doing a row of single crochet, and we will be almost done. Okay, just like last time, you want to go up under that first stitch, pull your new color through, and you just want to put a single crochet. I hope I'm in frame. You just want to put a single crochet in every stitch all the way down. I'm telling you guys, I really need some better way to do this than trying to do it around my camera and through the camera. So in every stitch all the way down gets a single crochet. Or you can start at the bottom and do the crab stitch, if anybody knows what that is. If you don't, Google it or look it up on YouTube. It's basically, I consider it to be a single crochet worked backwards. So doing that will give it a little more of a bobbly edge, which is totally cute. But for simplicity's sake of the tutorial, I'm just going to do the single crochet. I'm at the end of the row again, and that was our final row for crocheting. I did my slip stitch and I'm pulling it. Go back up here to the top, and you can see what putting that little bit of edging on it right there did before you put the final edging. It brings your double crochets together. It's hard to explain, but it does. And so I don't know if the rest of this tutorial is self-explanatory or not, but I will just say that generally I will pick these two colors that are the same where we started. Well, they're the same color because I didn't change colors from the chain to the row 1 single crochet. So mine are the same color, so I would choose those two to hang it by. I think it probably would be okay to choose these two up here to hang it by. I don't know that it matters. So maker's choice, you know. So choose two to hang it by. If I could talk, it might help us all a whole lot. And then with the rest of them, you just want to come to the back with your darning needle or whatever those things are called and weave them in, you know, cut off your excess just like you do when you crochet anything else. Okay, so once you have that done, let me see if I can, since mine is so small, I don't know. Let's see what I can do here. Let's see if we can pretend to have a little bit of a spiral going on. That might help. So this is mine, and we're pretending like it's 7-8 inches long, because, you know. Now, but at any rate, that's not much of a spiral, is it? This is where you will want to, if you're going to add beads, this is your chance to do it. And, you know, you can put one bead on every strand, or choose to, you know, do one bead on one strand, or 3 or 4 beads on one strand. But like I said in the beginning, the main thing to remember is not to get it really weighed down with beads, since we're using such a fine weight yarn. It won't take much to overpull it to the point where you're losing your definition in your spiral, so keep that in mind. And oh gosh, you know, you weave that in, whatever you don't use down here, weave in. And of course I would just tie a knot in the two that I'll be using. Well, if I was using this one, it would just come up and tie a knot in that to make it, you know, hang. But over there they are, and let's see, I don't know if I can zoom while I'm recording. Apparently I can, so that's good. And I believe that's everything, guys. I hope that it made sense and was as clear as possible under the conditions that I had to do it. I hope you guys, have a great day. Don't forget to leave that thumbs up. Where am I at? Oh, live and in color. All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. Bye.